All right, welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're embarking on a bit of a mission, really. You asked us to dig into a truly foundational text, and we found an incredible one from the 4th century. We're going deep on the wisdom of a writer named Aphrahat.
That's right. And our source is his Demonstration 9 on humility. It's a fascinating text because when you think of the early church, you usually think Greek or Latin, right? But Aphrahat was writing in Syriac over in Mesopotamia, so his perspective is often less tangled up in, the Greek philosophy of the time. It's just so direct. I mean, it's less like abstract theology and more like a detailed user manual for living.
A user manual, I love that. And our mission today is to pull out his core argument, which is that humility is anything but passive. It's not weakness.
No, not at all.
It's a powerful, active, almost protective force, a generative force that can structure your whole life and defend you from harm.
And he does not mince words. Right out of the gate, he defines humility as something excellent at all times. The crucial part, the real hook, is that it's a deliverer from every calamity.
Every calamity. So it's not just a nice-to-have virtue, it's a shield.
It's a prerequisite for, both spiritual and even material safety. It's the starting point for righteousness and for finding favor with God.
That is a very bold claim. So how does he immediately ground that? Where does he go for proof?
To the biggest stories. He starts with Noah, who found favor because he was righteous and innocent. Aphrahat connects that innocence directly to this state of humble alignment.
Okay.
And then he pulls from the Psalms, quoting that ultimate promise, the humble will inherit the earth and dwell on it forever. So he's immediately reframing it. Humility isn't self-denial. It's the only path to a massive eternal reward.
And the spiritual stakes, I mean, he makes them incredibly high. He quotes Isaiah to show that God chooses to dwell only with the meek and humble person who trembles at my word.
Exactly. It's a binary choice. You either choose humility and get the divine presence, or you don't. It's the required setting for that engagement.
Okay, so if that's the foundation, let's get into the architecture. What does the inner life of this humble person actually look like? What's in Aphrahat's inventory?
Well, first, it's the absolute opposite of being, simple-minded. For him, humility is the root of all intellectual and moral excellence.
Right.
Once you have that foundation of humility, it becomes the place where righteousness, instruction, wisdom, understand, all of it. It's where it all lives. None of those other virtues can stand without it.
And the outward description is so specific. It's not just about what you're holding back inside. He describes this person as having a sweet word, a radiant face. They're joyful.
Yes, joyful. They might seek an ascetic life, sure, but their inner state, their calm, actually manifests as this really approachable warmth.
Because they're actively avoiding conflict.
They're proactively avoiding it. He says they fear strife, because strife gives birth to jealousy. They know how fast that poison can spread from just a few heated words.
And that's where he gives that incredibly physical advice.
Yes. He says when they hear heated words, they literally plug their ears.
It's a tactical retreat. It's not just praying about it. It's a physical action to prevent the poison from getting in.
Exactly. And their relationship with learning is different too. It's not a chore. He says they drink instruction like water, and it enters into him like oil into his veins. It's nourishment.
Okay, this is where it gets really paradoxical and I think really interesting. He says the humble one humbles himself, but his heart rises to the highest height. Now, how do we square that? Because that sounds a little bit like spiritual pride, right? Looking humble while thinking you're on top.
And that's a critical distinction he makes. It isn't hypocrisy, it's a kind of dual reality. Their physical eyes see the earth, they're grounded, they know their mortal condition, but their mind, their intelligence, beholds the highest height.
So their feet are on the ground, but their compass is locked on heaven.
Precisely. They know where their true treasure is. And that focus dictates every single choice they make on earth. It protects their heart. And this isn't passive. It makes them actively good. They rejoice when their friends succeed, they become peacemakers.
And they're always preparing for the bridegroom. They're keeping themselves ready. He says they wear Christ like a fine coat, which is such a great image. You don't want to get that coat dirty with petty arguments.
And because of all this, their entire life is built on something solid, on the rock of truth. So the ways and the winds, the calamities he mentioned at the start, they can't touch this person. Humility makes you unshakable.
So let's shift to the second part of the argument, where he proves humility is an active conquering force. This isn't just a shield, it's a weapon. And he brings out this amazing roster of Old Testament heroes.
Oh, this is a masterclass in argument. He just lines them up one after another and shows how the internal state of the humble person consistently defeated the massive external power of the aggressor.
Let's start with Jacob. He's facing his brother Esau, who is furious and coming with 400 men.
400 men right after war. And Jacob's humility, his caution, it completely disarms all that anger. He faces down an army with vulnerability and he wins.
Then Joseph, thrown in a pit by his jealous brothers.
And his humility is what allows him to navigate everything that comes next. Slavery, prison, and eventually rise to a position where he can save the very people who tried to kill him. His humility won, not their jealousy.
And Moses, the text literally calls him the most humble man on earth, and he overcomes, what does Aphrahat say, all the pride of Pharaoh. That was a battle of wills, a battle of internal dispositions, and humility was the stronger weapon.
It's the same pattern over and over, David's quiet faith versus Goliath's loud pride. But the one that really gets me is Hezekiah.
Yes.
His humility, his prayer, overcomes the entire military assault of Sennacherib. He saves his whole kingdom from an existential threat based on his inner state.
That's incredible. So the key here is that external power armies, wealth, status, it's all irrelevant when faced with the internal power of humility.
It's irrelevant, and we see it again with Mordecai, whose quiet steadfastness just completely dissolves Haman's elaborate, boastful plot. The pattern is unbreakable. Pride leads to destruction. Humility guarantees protection.
And Aphrahat just keeps going right into the New Testament with the ultimate example, Mary.
Yes, he says she received Christ on account of her humility. And what's the first word the angel Gabriel brings her? Peace.
Peace.
And Christ's birth continues the theme. The announcement is peace in heaven, glory on the earth. Then Christ's teachings. They are the masterclass in active humility. Turn the other cheek, go the extra mile. These aren't weak actions. They are tactical strikes against letting anger get a foothold.
Which brings us to this crucial distinction he makes between us and God. He says magnificence, pride, the royal banner, that belongs to Christ alone.
And this is where he grounds everything in our natural condition. We're earthy, we're from the dust. So for us to seek what he calls magnificence is to try and steal something that doesn't belong to us.
So humility is just accepting reality.
He says it plainly. Humility is appropriate for us. It's our rightful state. When we pursue pride, we're basically committing a kind of self-destructive fraud.
That sets up the contrast perfectly, the danger of jealousy and pride. He says, no person can serve two masters. Pride and humility simply cannot coexist.
And he uses the parables to make the consequences painfully clear. The rich man in purple ends up in anguish. The humble Lazarus is exalted. The proud Pharisee goes home guilty. The humble tax collector goes home justified.
And the absolute polar opposite of humility, the most corrosive spiritual acid, is jealousy. He says it has no remedy except silence and humility.
And what's really striking is he doesn't see jealousy as just an emotion. It's an infection. He says the evil one lives in each person who puts on jealousy. He's basically saying when you become jealous, you're inviting an unclean spirit to move in, just like with King Saul.
And then comes this absolutely terrifying list. I mean, a catalog of historical punishments directly linked to jealousy. We have to walk through this.
Okay, so the serpent, jealous of Adam, he gets 3 curses, loses his feet, eats dust, and becomes the enemy of humanity, all from one act of jealousy.
Cain, jealous of Abel, cursed for 7 generations, forced to wander the earth restless.
Think about that. The price is cosmic. Then there's Korah and his followers, jealous of Moses. Sheol, the underworld, literally opens its mouth and swallows them.
Wow.
Their attempt to rise up in envy gets them dragged down to the lowest possible place.
And Miriam gets leprosy. Ahab's blood is licked up by dogs on the very land he stole out of jealousy.
The punishments are swift, they're severe, and they are poetically just.
Right down to Haman, who is jealous of Mordecai and ends up dying on the very gallows he built for him. Aphrahat is making it crystal clear. Jealousy is a terrible, self-defeating tactic.
It's the highest possible cost for zero reward, an emotion that only makes you vulnerable.
So if the inner life produces good fruit, let's talk about how that fruit is expressed. Section 4 gets into speech and action using that classic tree and fruit analogy.
Right, but he applies it so directly to the mouth. He says you discern a person's thoughts by what they say. From the overflow of the heart, the lips speak. You can taste the entire tree from one single fruit.
Meaning a wise person can figure out your entire spiritual state just by hearing you talk.
Exactly. A bad tree produces mocking, insulting, blasphemous words. So the humble person has to maintain this iron discipline over their tongue.
And he gives this incredibly practical advice on how to do it, how to abort anger before it's even born.
It's amazing. He says to take an idea, an angry thought, and just examine it in your heart for many days. And if you realize it's not right to say it, he gives this incredible instruction. May it die in your heart, and you must conceal it in your mind.
Just let it die inside. Don't give it life with your tongue.
It's the spiritual equivalent of deleting that angry email draft. Just let it go, don't hit send.
And he even connects that silence to a form of devotion. He says silence is to lick the wounds of your Lord.
Yes, it's an act of healing,
Oh.
of reverence, protecting that inner temple.
Okay, let's bring it all home with the final, ultimate paradox he presents in the last section. The contrast between Adam and Christ that illustrates the whole rule.
This is the capstone. It's the ultimate lesson on reality versus self-deception. Adam's natural state was earthy, from the ground. He broke the command because he wanted to receive exaltation, which was not a part of his original condition.
He reached for something that wasn't his.
He grasped for it. And what was the result? He was humbled. He was returned to abasement, to dust.
He sought elevation and got humiliation.
Exactly. And then you have Christ, who was already exalted and glorious. He willingly humbled himself, he emptied himself, and as a consequence, he was raised up and exalted. Glory was added to him.
So beautiful, it makes the rule so clear. All who exalt themselves will be humbled, and all who humble themselves will be exalted. It's not a threat, it's just a description of how reality works.
It is. Adam was humbled because he tried to be something he wasn't. Christ was exalted because he embraced his chosen abasement. Humility, for Aphrahat, is just living in perfect alignment with reality.
And for you, the listener, who wants the practical outcome of all this, he leaves this beautiful list of the fruits of humility. Moderation, chastity, amiable thoughts, patience, innocence, wisdom, quiet, mercy, just on and on.
He says the person who cultivates this tree lives in rest, and the one who takes pleasure in those who are quiet and humble lives in it. It's the ultimate peace.
So this deep dive has really shown that for Aphrahat, humility is not weakness. It is a dynamic defense system. It's the root of pretty much every other virtue. It is absolutely essential for peace, for wisdom, and it's the only escape from the self-destruction of pride.
It's the ultimate spiritual insurance policy.
And that leaves us with one final provocative thought to chew on. Aphrahat says, point blank, this is righteousness when a person humbles himself. So if we take his core idea that humility is simply loving and accepting our natural condition, our earthy, finite reality, then consider this. If righteousness is just aligning yourself with the truth of what you are, does that make pride the ultimate and most destructive act of self-deception?